Welcome to Intuitive Flow. I'm your host, Mikaela Filar, intuitive energetic healer, medium, entrepreneur, and mindset mentor with a mission to help you step into your fullest potential by giving you the tools to rid yourself of limiting beliefs, love yourself unconditionally, and create the reality that you dream of living. It is time to transform your mindset, get unstuck, and step into the highest frequency version of yourself who has unshakable confidence. I am even answering your juiciest questions regarding all things intuition, manifestation, personal development, self-love, self-image, and helping you work through your dilemmas, intuitively guiding you to expand your mindset and level up in life. So turn up the volume and get excited for this intuitive flow. Hey guys, welcome back to Intuitive Flow with Mikaela Filar. I have something a little different for you guys today. So I was recently a guest on a podcast. It's called Start Somewhere with Isabelle, Prestia, and she is a marketing mentor who helps you turn your stories into marketing to convert sales. We love that. And she was a guest on my podcast, and then I went on her podcast, and I just loved the way that she interviewed me and the questions that she asked. So I thought that I would give this episode to you guys. And I know this episode is coming to you guys a little late. I typically give you guys the new episodes on Tuesday. However, I went out of town last weekend and then I was in my luteal phase and I could not be bothered. So this is what we're getting this week. And I am just super excited for you guys to listen to this episode. If you have not already, it is such a treat and kind of takes you back to the basics as well. So we talked all things intuition, self-image, self-love, dating, career. So I really hope you guys love this episode. So with that being said, enjoy. What's the common denominator? It's me. I'm the problem. And I had to take that radical responsibility for my life. And that was really hard.
Welcome to Start Somewhere the podcast. I'm joined by a very special guest, Mikaela, all the way from California. So it's really fun. We've been recording an episode just on Mikaela's podcast just before. So definitely go listen to that one. And I'm so excited to have you here, Mikaela. Mikaela is an intuitive, energetic healer, medium, and also a self-love image mentor. She is all about helping people break free from fear, trust their intuition, and step into their highest, most confident self. Mikaela also helps her clients in healing subconscious blocks, cultivating self-love, and taking bold action toward their dream reality. I think you can already hear how Mikaela is such an aligned fit for Start Somewhere. I'm so excited to have you here. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm Mikaela, and you nailed it with with the intro. That is literally me to a T. And I got into this work about 2 years ago, and I was just kind of a similar story, I guess. I was in network marketing, so not I was I would assume like I would connect like your business with like before you stopped doing it and then went into your 9 to 5. I would say that is like my era of network marketing. Like I was in network marketing, it wasn't fully aligned. I woke up one day, hated everything I was doing, and I was like, I don't know what the heck I'm going to do. Like I'm 30 years old. I'm gonna have to start from scratch. I was so down on myself about the timeline. I had just got dumped. Like, so there goes like not only do I not know what I want to do with my entire life, my entire career, but I also just got dumped. So I'm also single at 30 and like I'm probably gonna die soon. So you know what I'm saying? So yeah, like definitely a lot of growth, definitely a dark night of the soul moment there. Quit my network marketing business, dove headfirst into the work I now live, breathe, and teach and embody. And I have not looked back since. And this is only the beginning. And it's been such an incredible journey. So I'm excited to talk to you guys about it and share all of the things that I know.
I can't wait. You mentioned going through a dark night of the soul, and we actually spoke about this in our episode on your show. And I know a lot of the listeners are incredibly spiritual. They love all these kind of conversations. And if you're not, maybe just, I don't know, open your ears to this. Maybe it might be insightful. Can you just touch on experiencing a dark night of the soul? Because I often describe my experience with the whole engagement 9 to 5, that whole little situation in my life as my own version of that. So I'd love just to hear your take on Dark Knight of the Soul.
Oh my gosh, I love this question.
Sounds
Okay.
so dark and intense. It reminds me of like a Disney movie with like the evil villain riding on a horse for some reason.
I'm dead. It could be. I mean, I could definitely easily make a Disney movie out of my life somehow. Like
Me too. We should totally collab.
hashtag main character energy, you know.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so A Dark Night of the Soul. I think the best way that I can explain it is when you feel like shit is hitting the fucking fan, man, and you just feel like everything is not going your way, it's pure chaos. You can't quote unquote catch a break, and you're like, what is happening? Well, let me tell you what's happening.
Tell
You
us.
are about to thrive. Like, and I know that that might be really hard when you are in the thick of it and you are experiencing like chaos and things not going your way and shit hitting the fan. But I want you to remember that whenever we have these moments that are quote unquote dark night of the souls, that just means that your higher self is helping you purge anything from your life in your energy that cannot come with you to the next level in life. So
Mhm.
if you, for instance, for me, right before my last, I've had multiple dark night of the souls, okay? So before the one that I was talking about with getting dumped, having like wanting to quit my network marketing business that I had worked to get to the top 2% of the company. Like I had been with the company for 4 years and I was very, very invested. I thought that I was going to make it to the top 1%. I thought that it was going to be my end all be all. I was so bought in. I had drank the motherfucking Kool-Aid. And when I quit all that, had that whole moment, and I was like, well, now what? Right before that, I had asked, I was like, this cannot be, this cannot be it. Right. I was in the relationship, but it wasn't as good as it was when we first started dating. Everything happened really fast. He love bombed the fuck out of me. Like, I was gonna ask you if your ex love bombed you, but yeah, you're like,
We
yes,
discuss this after. All right, continue.
yes, we can. Or now. I mean, I don't care.
Oh no.
But yeah, so he love bombed the fuck out of me. Basically, we were like together for, or well, he like,
Oh my
I was in a
God.
moment of like, I need to
Deja
really
vu.
focus on my. Are you having PTSD from listening to my story? I'm dead.
No, I'm healed. There's no trauma, but it's more just like I laugh about it now.
Yeah, you're like, I can relate, can relate, can
Yeah.
relate. Okay.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so let me finish my like sentence
Yes.
and then we'll get into that. But when I had there, like they said, the relationship wasn't as great as it was in the beginning.
Mhm.
And I was just slowly but surely feeling like I was settling in multiple areas of my life with my business, with like my network marketing business, with my relationship, with everything. And I was like, which are my two most valued areas of life, right? My relation, that's how it is with most people, their career and their their family, which if you're
Yeah.
living with your significant other, that's your romantic relationship is included in family. But with that being said, I thought that my I just was like not happy. I wasn't fully happy, and I had asked. I was like I don't know who I was talking to because I've never been like a whole like God. I've never been super into God. I've always believed in a higher power. That's like a whole other tangent that we could totally go on. But I was like praying to higher power,
Mhm.
source,
Mhm.
universe, whatever word best resonates with you. And I was like, I need something different. Like I really desire something different. I desire more for my life. I know that I'm meant to do incredible great things. I don't know exactly what, but like please like show me and help me. Like what am I here for? What's the point? And I struggled with anxiety and depression for the majority of my life, and this was a dark time for me, obviously. And then when I got dumped and also like decided to quit my network marketing business, that's when things really got bad. And I was asking, I was like, what the fuck is the point? Like, why am I here? Like, I feel like I'm meant for more, but like at the same time, what is it?
Yes.
And the universe, higher self, okay, universe, God, source, they do
Yeah.
not
Interchangeable.
have their hands in your life. there's the universal law of free will. So they are here to support you, to support you, and they believe in you.
Mhm.
However, it's you who's in charge of your life. Your higher self is the one who gives you these quote unquote tests to help you get to where you are desiring to go.
Mhm.
So it was in the moment of feeling like I was, like shit was hitting the fan and like I was settling in life where I had found my my mentor who really helped me hone in on my gifts as an intuitive energetic healer. And these are gifts that I've had my entire life. Everyone is intuitive. However, some people are more connected than others. Some people are more awake, I guess you can say, to their gifts than others. Some people have actually trained, like myself, have trained their intuition because intuition is like a muscle.
Mhm.
And the more you use it, the better and stronger it gets. The more you ignore it and push it down, which is what we are conditioned to do as a society, fall in line, listen to your
Yeah.
parents,
Yeah.
don't do, go to school, go to college,
Yeah.
get
Nine to
married,
five.
fall in line. It's like the ants, right? Like it's the movie, that one movie, the ant movie.
The
Is
Ant
it,
movie. I think it's called the Ant.
is it in Australia as well?
Yeah, the cartoon.
Yes, the
Yeah,
cartoon.
I think it's actually called the Ant movie.
Okay, and then
So
the
curious.
grasshoppers are like we can't, the grasshoppers are like we can't let the ants know that they actually have all the power and they outnumber us and they would totally like destroy us if they know. It's the same fucking thing in life. Like we
Mhm.
are the ants and the government powers that be are the grasshoppers and they don't want us to know how strong and how powerful we are. So of
Mhm.
course they're not going to condition us to be connected to the most fucking powerful thing that you could be connected to that will literally change your life if you listen to
Yeah.
it, right? So I had pushed it down for so many years because I wanted to be quote unquote normal. And so when I finally like had found like this work and truly dove into it, I was like, oh, like this is it. Like my whole body is like, yes, give me more. I'm lit the fuck up. I'm ready. I'm diving in head first. Like teach me all the things. And so I did. I learned all the things and I learned how to train my intuition down to a science and get extremely accurate information for my clients. And I learned all about dark forces because just like there's light, there's dark, which is very, very important. There are so many healers out in the world who don't protect themselves
Yeah.
from that realm. And it's very, very important for healers, especially to be doing that. And if you're not, you have no idea where you're getting your information from. So that is why um, what I teach is so different than the majority of other healers that you're going to find because I am really covering all the bases that you need to cover to get the most accurate information from source from your higher self. There's different fields of energy that you tap into depending on what it is that you're desiring to know about.
So you mentioned, and I kind of want to combine this here, the whole love bombing in your past relationship. Were you at that moment tuned into your intuition?
No, absolutely not. This was when I was being love bombed. I had I had just got out of a relationship probably 5 months prior to meeting this new guy.
Okay.
And that relationship I was in for about 4 years, off and on. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. I knew he wasn't my person, but we tried so hard to make it work. I think mostly because it was just comfortable. And
Mm.
then we literally like moved in together. And when we moved in together, we were like, oh, well, we're just gonna, try. We're gonna try one last time, and we should live together. And that'll put a band-aid on. Like, no, it doesn't fix anything.
Oh
It made it worse.
no.
It amplified things, obviously, because now we can't get away from each other. We fucking live in the same house. So I end up breaking up with him. And 5 months later, I tell myself after breaking up with him, I'm going to work on myself. I'm going to really focus on me and I'm going to heal and it's going to be my healing era, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, 5 months into this, I meet this guy and I'm like, and he's like very persistent. And I tell him when I first met him, I'm like, I'm not looking for anything. Like, I'm really focused on myself, blah, blah, blah. Well, that made him want me more because, that's just how energy works. When you don't want something, it wants you. And so he was like obsessed. It was like he was obsessed with me. Like he was calling me, he was texting me, he was buying me things, he was taking me out to dinner. It was insane. And mind you, finally, I didn't agree to go out with him for like the first 2 weeks that he was texting me and hitting me up nonstop. I was like, no, like I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. I'm not ready, I'm not ready, I'm not ready. Well, eventually I said yes. And it was an incredible date. I ended up really liking him. He was like, he treated me so well. He like really gave me all of the things emotionally, physically that I felt I was lacking in my previous relationship. And because of that, I clung on. I was like, oh my God, he's giving me everything that I've been asking this other guy for years. Right now, I'm not even having to ask for it. It was such a breath of fresh air. Okay, well, my love goggles were on. I wasn't seeing the fucking red flags that were flying all around his head. And so I just really dove into it and I was like, you just, when you know. And I wasn't in touch with my intuition because I also heavily was like, oh my gosh, I turned 30 this year and I need to get engaged and get married because like I need to start thinking about kids because, my biological clock is ticking. And I was really just focused on what everyone else thought about my life and, uh, what I looked like from the outside, and everyone's perception of me. And my self love and my self image were at an all time low because I was putting self image is the source definition of self image is the way you perceive yourself and the way you perceive others perceive you. Say that 3 times fast. And then the definition of self love is the ability to put yourself first and prioritize yourself. So I wasn't doing either of these things.
Yeah.
Because one, I promised myself that I wasn't going to date, that I was going to focus on myself, that I was going to heal. And then what did I do? I started dating again. Okay, well, I told myself I wasn't going to do that. That's not putting myself first. That's not committing to myself, right? So then also on top of that, with the self-love thing or the perception thing, I cared so much about what other people think that all I saw was this man who was treating me well for now. And then um when he asked me to move in with him literally a month after knowing each other, I was like, it's kind of soon. And he was like, oh, it's gonna be good. Like, I won't make you pay rent. And I was like, fuck, I'm in. And I was like, okay, yeah, like we're at each other's house like all the time. Like, I'm just gonna move in,
Yeah.
whatever. And so I move in with him, and I swear to you, like the moment we move in, he is a different fucking person. Like completely changes, like a switch flipped off. Like I don't know, it was crazy. And I think that really what happened was like he realized that I well, one had a lot of stuff because like you should have seen his face when like we moved in together and he saw all of my shit that I brought out of storage. He was like, "What the fuck?" I got rid of a lot to be fair, okay? But there was that, and then there was also just like I think he was just realizing this is real. Like she's talking about getting engaged and married, even though it was literally him who brought it up first. He was like, "I love you." In the first 2 weeks, he was like, "I could see myself marrying you. You're so incredible." Blah 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 blah. Well, that's, it all went out the drain when he found out that I don't have a 401k. Literally, he told me when he broke up with me the day after Christmas, mind you, after spending the entire day with his family.
Oh, so he broke up with you. Okay.
He broke up with
Yeah.
me. Yeah. He broke up with me. And that was also what like really sent me was like, you pursued me. And
Yeah.
then the roles reversed. And the moment that I gave in and gave you everything, you took it all away and swept the rug from under my feet and broke up with me. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was in such pick me girl energy. It was
Yeah.
disgusting.
Oh
Like,
no.
I was like, oh my gosh, spend time with me, pay attention to me, love me. Where are you going? When are you going to be home? He had a job that, fuck it, he was a firefighter and he was gone for days on end. And so he would come back and I would like during the time that he was gone and like come back, I would like stop everything that I was doing for myself and solely it would be all for him. I look back on that version of me and I'm like, ugh, like it makes my skin crawl because like, well, one, I didn't have a ring on my finger. So, like, what am I doing acting like that? Two, why would I stop doing the things that I love to do for myself just because he was home to be a convenience to him? Like, all of it was just so wrong. So, probably we lived together probably I think for like 6 months that lasted. And then he finally, well, he broke up with me before that. I actually moved out and then he said, sorry, I want you back, blah, 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 called me crying, all the things.
Oh,
I, of course, listened to him and gave him another chance. And then 3 months after that, he broke up with me again. So, joke's on me. And such a learning lesson. But it was in that moment where I was just like, I kind of like woke up from my haze and I took the love goggles off and I was like, wow, like I really need to focus on myself. And I created this scenario. Like, out of all of the failed relationships and the shitty men and the unavailable, emotionally unavailable men that I've attracted in my life,
yeah.
and all of the relationships that I've attracted in my life, and like what's the common denominator? It's me. I'm the problem. And I had to take that radical responsibility to for my life. And that was really hard because that's a hard thing to fucking do for anybody. And I played the victim card for a really long time. And I was in the mindset of like, all men are trash, all the good ones are taken. Um, no one like men cheat and blah blah blah, like all the things. Like I was not taking responsibility for what I was creating in my life. And so
Mm.
that was like the shift. That was like the tipping point where I was like, okay, something's got to fucking change. So I packed up my shit again and I moved 3 hours away because I was so embarrassed at what had happened. I was so embarrassed. And I thought that everyone was talking about me because I had also at that time like I said, quit my network marketing business, which was another reason that he had broken up with me was like, he was like, well, you're not making any, like, you're not doing anything. Like you don't have stability, you don't have a stable income, you don't have a 401k. Like he was reflecting me so much. And I say reflecting, our partners are our biggest reflectors, our biggest mirrors. So whatever you're feeling on the inside deep down, they're going to reflect that shit back to you.
Oh gosh.
And he was such a mirror to me. And
Really?
he was saying all of these things and they were true. They were
Yeah.
fucking true. And I didn't know what I was going to do. I had no idea, but I knew deep down that I would figure it out because I have always figured it out my entire life. I've been on my own since I was 14 years old. So I know that I'm capable and I know that I'm willing of figuring it out and I know that my life's going to be incredible. Do I know exactly what that's going to look like? No. But if you don't want to stick around for the low, then guess what, honey? You don't deserve to be around for when shit's popping the fuck off. And that's your loss. So
Mm.
basically, moved away, blocked him, blocked his number, haven't talked to him literally since then. And I'll leave that at that. And I lock myself in my apartment is I rented a 250 square foot apartment in Costa Mesa, California, which was about 3 hours from where I'm originally from. And I was like, I'm not dating, I'm not going out, I'm not talking to anybody. Like I'll have friends, I'll like go and hang out with friends, I'll go on like hang out, like I'll go to dinner
Yeah.
and
Go
stuff, but like
socialize.
it's nothing's gonna come of it. Like it's just gonna be like free dinner and a fun time and somebody to hang out with. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't anything serious, and I made that very, very clear. Because I was somewhere new and I truly wanted to like take myself out of the environment that I had been in. One, because I was so embarrassed. And I felt like I know he had dragged my name through the fucking mud. My ex had dragged my name through the mud and was basically telling everyone my business, his business, and like our business as a couple. And I was just like, dude, like I need to get away. Like I just need to get away. And so I did. And I didn't like, I truly focused on diving into healing my self worth, on healing my not enoughness, on healing my self image and caring so much about what other people think about me, on healing my self love, on honing in on my intuition. And I invested in a mentor, I invested in courses, I invested in business coaches, and I fucking grind. I grinded. Is that a word?
Okay.
You get the idea. Until I got my footing underneath me again. In the meantime, I bartended and I taught fitness classes and I was a virtual assistant for another business coach online. Like I did all the things while growing my business. And I just like I created the master classes and I created the courses and nobody would sign up. But guess what? I showed up anyways and I pretended that like 100 people were there watching. I would do my hair, I would do my makeup, and I would just show up and I would teach, even though looking back on those videos is so cringe. But like I'm proud of that past version of me for having the tenacity to not settle and to not allow the things that were being said about me to dictate how I moved through my future, you know?
I want this to be such an important reminder to the listeners. I mean, so like you touched on so many things I'd love to go into, but like in particular, not settling, having that resilience, and even showing up when there aren't people clapping for you, showing up when you're not seeing the results. I think we actually said this in your show just before. Showing up, like results are invisible for a lot of the time. And it's that piece when you are showing up, you know, your intuition, your higher self, universe, God, whatever you believe in, they're watching and they're taking note, and you will always be rewarded for your hard work. And something I always remind myself of is if you're not seeing the results yet, it's not the end. They're still coming.
100%.
And to keep on
Yeah.
going. And when you do get your payday, which will come, there's no if, ands, or buts about it. When it does, it's going to far exceed your expectations. It's going to blow your socks off. It's going to be so abundant, so successful, so fulfilling, even more than you can even comprehend.
100%. But you just have to have that tenacity to keep going, even when
Yeah.
things look like it's not working.
That's
Um,
that, you know, self-belief, self-love. I mean, everything that you, I presume, like teach a lot in all of your courses and your content and your coaching and everything. And so your story as well, like I was smiling, I was cringing, I was laughing because I saw me in so much of what you just said. Like I can relate to that wholeheartedly. And I've shared bits of my story on the podcast. If an episode is not already up, it will be up on my whole experience and journey, but very similar to yourself. And, you know, things from the love bombing to walking away from everything you once loved to just putting all your passions like on a shelf out of reach and just never reaching for them again, and just turning your back on everything and completely just conforming to please somebody else's needs and not it ever being about you anymore. And it's yeah, it's a hard pill to swallow. And I'm so curious to know, like I've taken radical responsibility as well. What do you think your part was to attract something like that? And I asked that because that's the same question I've asked myself. So I'd love to hear your
oh,
insight.
and that's a great question. Before I answer that, I do want to say people like when you start, this goes into the like self image thing of not caring about what other people think about you. You guys, when I like left my hometown and locked myself in a room and really started studying this work and then showing up online and like talking about it, everyone thought I was actually absolutely insane.
See,
Everyone
yeah.
thought I was
Yeah.
crazy. People in my network marketing business were talking about me like behind my back to like each other and being like, is Mikaela okay? Like, did she fall off the rocker? Like, is she well? Like, well, who does she think she is? Talking about this, or what is like like an intuitive energetic healer? What is that? Like, oh my gosh. But like you gotta just keep going. You gotta put your blinders on and keep going and not care about the noise. You gotta block out the noise and keep going, whatever it is that you're doing. if people, you mentioned like people aren't clapping for you along the way, if people aren't doing that, you have to just keep going and see the vision and hold the vision. And if people are calling you crazy, that's a good thing, in my
Yeah,
opinion, because you're
yeah,
doing things that aren't
great.
typical. And if you're doing shit that's not typical, you're going to get not typical results. And I don't want anything about my life to be fucking typical, period.
Agreed, agreed. And if you're worried people are talking about you, be grateful people are talking about you because they have nothing else in their life but to talk about you. And I'm like,
Yeah.
amazing, perfect. Like, let me be the center of your conversation because that
Yeah.
means that clearly I'm more interesting than whatever else you have going on in your life. And, the piece as well, it's surrounding yourself by people who are also doing what you're doing, who get it, who you can have these conversations with. And I think that's like the biggest thing. It's like, yeah, you can like, I'd love to hear, your journey of locking yourself in your room, like working on yourself, on your business, doing all the things. But was there a point where you really just craved community, but like craved the aligned community, people also in your industry, having conversations like this on a daily basis with people? Like, what was that shift from being in like this solitude hustle to actually being like,
Mm.
I'm, quote unquote, ready to be more in this around these people?
Well, it's funny that you asked that because I'm actually like the work that I'm in, the the mentor that I have, my intuitive mentor, like she's created such a beautiful community and I'm truly integrated in that community. And I am very like I've never like when I really honed in on my gifts, like I was with a group and I've met so many friends in the online space through this work who are people who also are learning what I
Yeah,
learned,
I get it.
right? And so I don't feel like I was really ever like I know what you mean with like being in solitude, but like I truly was never alone because I had that community and I always felt like my mentor was also like my best friend. Like it
Oh,
was really awesome
yeah,
in that sense.
I love it.
Um, but to also go back to your other question about like what did it look like to take radical responsibility and how like what was I doing to attract the emotionally unavailable men or the love bombing narcissistic men, okay? Listen to this. Turn it up. Turn it up.
Oh gosh.
Because if you are finding yourself finding people in your life or attracting men in your life, and if you're a man listening to this, like same thing goes for you, obviously, but I'm just saying man because that's who I attract. If you attract women, it's the same shit for you who are like this. So emotionally unavailable, we'll start with the first one, okay? One by one. If you're attracting people into your life who are emotionally unavailable, that is because there is a part of you that is not owning all of your emotions, that has shame or guilt around feeling your emotions, around showing up, being your most authentic self. And also, like, you are stuffing your emotions, like sweeping them under the rug. Like, you don't really think that it's a big deal. You're people pleasing. You are, you're not fully respecting yourself and you're not being emotionally available to yourself. And if, like I said, the world's this is an inside out world. So however you are being toward yourself is what's going to be reflected to you in people and situations and the experiences that you experience. Okay. So it's the same thing with that's with emotionally unavailable. So if you're attracting emotionally unavailable men, ask yourself, where am I not owning my emotions? Where am I feeling certain feelings, but saying that they're quote unquote not as important or like who cares about what I'm feeling? Like you should care. Everyone in your life should also care. And if they don't care, then they're not your people. And that's your higher self's way of being like, that was a lesson learned, let them out. And what happens with that is you let people out of your life when you start to do this work, and that creates room and space for the people who you are meant to be around and you are meant to attract into your life, right? This new like lifestyle for you, and it's such an incredible experience, honestly. Narcissistic men, so or women, people. If you are attracting narcissistic people, and I mean, there are so many different narcissistic types in the world, in the
Yeah,
therapy world.
yeah,
But specifically for me, I was attracting people who were like gaslighting me, you know, like making me feel like I wasn't like I was fucking crazy or like I was too much, right? And so if that's how I feel like the person is being,
Mhm.
if I feel like the person is being a narcissist, I got to ask myself, like, where am I narcissisting my ass? Like,
Oh,
where am I not, where am I gaslighting my own feelings? Where am I feeling like I'm too much?
okay.
Right.
So when you attracted this past person, where was
Hmm.
that a reflection in yourself?
Oh my goodness. Well,
It's like the first thing that comes to your mind.
yeah, first reason is definitely the part of it was more so like the self-love part of this was a test for my higher self of being like, hey, you you said that you were going to work on yourself. Here's
Or-
this test. Are you going to actually work on yourself or are you going to fall back in your toxic cycle of, you know, focusing on everyone else besides yourself?
Yes. Okay. I love that. And so, like, I guess now I would love to talk about the energy of taking that first step. So, how did you shift into action mode after feeling stuck for so long?
Um, Honestly, in the beginning, it was a very toxic reason. It was, I'm going to prove him
Yes.
in the beginning. It was very much so like,
But you
I'm
know
going to
what?
prove,
Like, it's okay to have those thoughts because
yeah,
we're humans and we do have toxic traits. And sometimes we do
yeah,
things out of ego. People talk about this ego death, but you need an ego to do things. And
100%. Ego's
as long
easier.
as you like the fact that, right, and the fact that you can recognize that that was the case, that's okay. Like sometimes we do
Hmm.
need a little bit of an ego boost, but as long as, which I know you're not because of the nature of your work, is the complete opposite of the ego. So as long as you
Hmm.
can just give some recognition to it, but not allow it to fuel you, that's fine. We just label as ego as like this evil villain in our life. And yeah, it is
Hmm.
if you are this, narcissistic type of person, they really only have ego. They don't really understand intuitive. They block it down. There's, so many deeper wounds in childhood and blah, blah, blah. There's a whole other conversation. But when we're
Hmm.
coming from this recognizing the ego, but then more so like perhaps I'd love for you to touch on the energetic side of momentum and like breaking through all of that resistance, because I know that will really resonate with a lot of the listeners where they're feeling stuck, they're wanting to take that very first step. And I mean, I always talk about this on the show, and like I'd love to hear your journey of that as well, that energetic side of cultivating that momentum for you.
Yeah, no, honestly, like building that, rebuilding
Yes.
the
We love
confidence in
rebuilding.
myself, rebuilding the confidence and the belief in myself to, remember how much I had accomplished because
Yeah.
in that past relationship, he really like tore me down and made me feel like I hadn't done shit and like I wasn't worth shit. And because of that and the way that things ended, like I believed that but to be true for a
Yeah.
while until I really was like, no, like I had to remind myself, like, no, like you are successful. You have created incredible things. You have this incredible community of people behind you. And you're like, I just know that you're so worth creating the life that you know that you deserve.
Yeah.
And you've got to take away all of the things that made you think otherwise and really like remember who the fuck you are and take that step. And that step for me was healing my self love and self image. Like that was my first step. People, I think one of the number one questions asked in my one on one intuitive sessions is like, what is my purpose?
Okay. Interesting.
And the thing is like we have multiple purposes. We have
Yeah.
a collective soul purpose here on earth in this human form, in this human body to learn lessons throughout our life and then teach those lessons to other to spread and raise the consciousness of the collective. That is our collective mission here as souls on earth,
Yes.
right? Now, individually, we each have purposes. We each have a unique and special blueprint. that was created for you between higher self and source that create the perfect scenario, the perfect career, the perfect
Yeah.
life for you, for nobody else. And your journey to get there
Hmm.
requires more than one step. It's not just you wake up one day and you're like, "Oh my gosh, I know my purpose." Like, no, it's going to have to it's going to stem from all of the shit that you had to go through before that, all of the dark night of the souls, and also you healing in that healing process. And so what the most beautiful thing I'm seeing in the collective right now is all of these incredible leaders, these incredible women mostly, healing on such a deep subconscious level, remembering their power, remembering we have literally women, you guys, we have a fucking portal in
We are
between our
powerful
legs that
beings.
birth life into this world.
Isn't that
Like
so
we are
cool?
the shit.
Agreed.
And so if you can remember that,
Yeah.
and there's so many people remembering that right now, and all teaching in different ways
Hmm.
and teaching different things and different modalities that helped them heal. And what they're doing is they're taking their trauma, their shit that they dealt with, all of the life lessons that they've ever learned, and then they're implementing them into these modalities, into these teachings, and then they're sharing them with the world, which is raising the consciousness of the
Yeah.
collective, which is what I'm doing, which is what you're doing, which is maybe what some of your listeners are doing or
Strong.
desiring to do. And so it's truly like sometimes taking that first step is okay, what do I need to do to shift my perspective around what just happened in my life, as
Yes.
opposed to being the victim of, oh my gosh, everything is happening to me.
Yes.
I can't believe this happened to me, and the world is against me, and God hates me, and that's why I'm not where I want to be. Like, no, absolutely not. Like, get that, take your hand, put it in your head, grab that shit, throw it out of your head, and stomp on it because it's not fucking true. It
Yeah.
is the furthest thing from the truth. You are
Yeah.
so in charge of your reality.
Mhm.
And you are so capable of creating the life that you desire to create for yourself. The only person in the way of that is you. So heal what you have to heal to get to where you are desiring to go.
Yeah.
Right. And for me, that first step was healing my self love and self image.
Yes. Yes. I always feel the more healing work we do, the more like business grows, the more we can be more of ourselves, to connect more with people, to serve more. Actually, when you reached out to me, I was doing my NLP training. Do you know what NLP is? Have you heard of it
I
before?
do. Yeah. I
Yeah.
use it too.
Yeah. Amazing. So yeah, it was like the most incredible, it was like a 7-day integrated in-person session, and so much healing work that I didn't even realize, one, I needed, and two, would even happen. And
Mhm.
oh my gosh, the way my business has just grown in the 2 short weeks I've had since leaving the prac room, which is where I was doing my NLP, is just phenomenal. And the healing that I did, like I'll go there, but like, things like generational trauma and like it was
Oh, yeah.
just insane, the things that were coming up and what I
Mm,
worked through, and the breath works we did, the meditations. Oh my gosh, it was just phenomenal. And now I have this belief, and like I say belief because we get to choose our reality. We get to choose what manifests into our life. And I now have a belief, the more I can work through all these past traumas and whatever it is, like healing, the more I can grow as a person and be more authentically me. And it's just proving to be so much of the truth. And I'm
mhm.
so much more like, I've always felt authentic, but I'm like feeling even more authentic now in such a way because I'm just seeing things so much more clearer. And yeah, this piece of like healing. And I feel oftentimes people think trauma is related to like a horrific incident. And when people say
Mm,
they're healing, it means they're like deeply damaged. That's like
mhm.
furthest from the truth. Going through
Yeah.
getting laid off from your job can be traumatic. You might have to heal from that. Going through a friendship loss or a breakup, or it can be so minuscule. It doesn't have to be this tragic ending. But the point is, the more we can heal, like you were saying you were doing on your journey, the more things just ripple and we're able to help humanity. And we spoke about community a lot as well in the episode on your show. And it's like being surrounded by people that get it, that are in the same industry, have similar mindsets. Even maybe they have polarizing viewpoints, but they're still anchored in some kind of similarity, you are just going to go so much further when you have this community around you. Like, it's going to push you. And I often say, when I see other women particularly succeed in business, I am never once like envious, jealous, hate that woman for it. I look at it and my mindset is, if she's done it, I'm doing it. If someone in my
100%.
world, even on my online world, is doing it, that means that I am very much next in line. It's as simple as
Yes.
that. When we look at people's success and we get envious, there is healing and trauma needing to be done there. But when we can look at that and be inspired, like, I love being surrounded by people who are smarter than me, more successful than me, have more money than me. Yeah, it intimidates the shit out of me. Yeah, I feel like a bit of a child sometimes, but I quickly just pull myself up on that thought, remind myself, Isabelle, they were once in your position. Now they're over here. And if you want to get to where they are, it involves a bit of a quantum leap. And the way we can get that quantum leap is by being around them, like hearing their conversations, learning from them, because they can teach you things that it may take you years and years and years to learn. And I love that you shared a lot of your story as well, because if I had heard a story like that years ago, who knows, maybe I wouldn't have had to go through that whole entire experience I went through, but it happens for a reason. And you came out of yours and you're now teaching so much of what you do with your audience, and I'm very much the same. So, no regrets. Everything always happens for a reason.
100%.
Yeah, it's just really
And
interesting. Yeah, you go.
I love that. I mean, you touched on, like, you brought in the community aspect of it again, and oh my gosh,
Oh,
authenticity. And when you bring in authenticity into your teachings, so
yes.
like when I am teaching, I oftentimes pull from like experiences from my past that relate to what I am teaching, because it really, one, humanizes me and it takes me off of a pedestal,
Yeah.
and two, it allows people to relate to me and to build that trust, right? And that is what's
Huh?
so important, is building that trust in that community aspect, and to allow your community to see, like, you're not perfect, you have gone through shit,
Yeah.
and that is what makes you so great, and that's what makes people so special and unique, is the trauma that they go to, the
Yeah.
trauma, having an ego, like all of that, that's perceived sometimes as bad. Like, we've got to remember the universal law of polarity, meaning that
Yeah.
everything is in balance. There is no fully good or fully bad. It's neutral in source's eyes. It's balanced.
I love that. And this like goes perfectly. I'd love to ask a last question for today is, why taking action from the right energy is actually like the missing piece in most people's manifestation journey. So we often see the things, 5 steps to
Mm,
manifest. Oh, Isabel, oh, Mikaela, I'm doing all the things. I'm meditating, I'm journaling, I'm ticking off my
yeah.
to-do list essentially. However, I'm not getting, the boyfriend, the job, the car, the money, the success. Like, how do I do it? What am I doing wrong? It's like this nagging, like, anchoring energy. So, like, how taking action from a different energy, the quote unquote right energy, is that missing piece, that
Yeah.
quote unquote missing piece.
Yeah. No. So I think the number one thing that's coming through right now for sure is, a lot of times we do not manifest what we want. We manifest how we feel.
Okay.
We do not manifest what we want, we manifest how we feel. So, what that means is, if a lot of times people put whatever it is that they're desiring to
Yeah.
manifest up on this pedestal and they make it mean something about them. When I get the boyfriend, then I'm going to feel like a hot, sexy babe.
So
When
true.
I get the job, then I'm going to be successful. When I buy my first house, then I'm going to be able to do X, or then I'm going to feel like I've made it.
Yeah.
When I get, you know what I'm saying? So on and so forth. We make things mean something about us. And when that happens, we've got it up on this pedestal. And when we've got things up on a pedestal, it means that our level of want for it is high. On a
Okay.
scale of 0 to 100%, it's a high. It's up there. It's above 78%. Like, that's no bueno. We want to get that really fucking low. We want to get that as close to 0 as we can.
Yeah.
And it's the universal law of detachment.
Yeah. I was just about to
If
say, you don't want to be
you,
attached.
yeah, if you are desiring to create something for yourself in your life, like, you have to stop making it mean something about you. You
Yes.
have to ask yourself, how do I feel like getting this thing is going to make me feel? Write those feelings down and see how you already have those feelings in your life right fucking now. Because if you are focused on how you already have the feelings of having the thing that you're wanting right now, then guess what? Universal law of focus, whatever you focus on grows. So you're going to, instead of being in this needy fucking energy, which is the opposite of magnetism, you're going to step into an abundance mindset, a gratitude mindset for all of the things that you do have that make you feel however you think the thing is going to make you feel. And you're going to be focused on that feeling and already having it in your life right now. And because of that, you're going to draw in what it is that you're manifesting a hell of a lot quicker than you then it's always, if you don't do that, it's always going to be like, I see, like the carrot on the end of the fishing pole and the person's on a treadmill trying to reach it, but it can't because it's just running in fucking place. Like that's what you're going to be doing if you don't detach and stop making whatever it is that you're manifesting mean something about you.
Okay.
And
So
you guys, sorry, go ahead.
no, I was going to ask if you can give an example.
Oh yeah.
So say if listeners are wanting to manifest, perhaps they're working a job at the moment or a 9 to 5, and they want to manifest being able to work for themselves. How can they start to embody some of those feelings now?
So good. Okay. So first of all, ask yourself, how do I feel like having my own business? How do I feel like having my own business is going to make me feel? Write all those down. Maybe it's successful. Maybe it's free. Maybe it's abundant. Okay. Well, where in your life currently are you already abundant? Maybe it's not financially. Maybe it's I'm abundant in fucking air outside. I'm abundant in grass. I'm abundant in water. I'm abundant in food in my fridge. Like literally, when I started doing this work, I had to write those things down because I couldn't see the abundance in my life. I was so far in the negatives. And so then that list started to change and it started to grow. And like to see the progression of it is so inspiring.
Yeah.
But going back to that, if it's successful, like you're already successful right now. Like you are so worthy of everything that you want right now, no matter what. First of all, I want you to think about like a baby. When a baby comes to earth and you're pregnant, let's say, and we birth a baby, what do? We love it, we care for it, we shower it with gifts, we throw out parties, we do all the things to make sure that it knows that we love it unconditionally. And what does it do? It sleeps, it eats, it shits. Like that's what it does. And it's not doing anything. It simply exists.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what happens between existing as a child when you were first born to right now? Conditioning, social conditioning, the pressure, the timeline, right? All of these things, all of this pressure that we put on ourselves that we feel, then we're giving it our power and making it mean something about us by thinking that we're not good enough unless we have X, Y, and Z, when that's simply not the case. We are enough simply for existing. So we've got to come back to that. So your success, like what does success mean to you? And then how are you already successful? If success means to you like going to school and getting a job or going to college, whatever, and like getting a 9 to 5, then like, or maybe that was what success looked like at one point in your life, then that past version of you would be really fucking stoked and really feel successful and good about themselves. Like come back to that moment, write that down. I start these lists. They're for reprogramming the neural pathways in your mind. And it's a clocking method that I use with my clients where let's say I want them to focus on the abundance in their life. I'm going to say start a note in your phone, and you guys should use this list for those listening. Start a note in your phone and title it abundance. And instead of thinking, oh, I can't afford that, like your verbiage, you guys, your verbiage matters a ton. So instead of saying I can't afford that, or that's too expensive, like you got to switch that up to how can I make this happen? How can I make X happen? Instead of being like, oh, I can't afford that. Okay, well, how much is it? Can you put a little bit to the side each month until you can make it happen? Instead of being like, that's too expensive. It's just not in my financial goals right now. Like, that's not aligned with my financial goals right now. But you don't hear a millionaire saying that they can't afford a, a private jet, right? Like, they're just saying, oh, that's not in alignment with my financial goals right now. But I'm working towards it because they are. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So it's the same thing with like clocking the abundance is you want to first like focus on like fix your verbiage if that needs to be fixed, and your mindset is going to be fixed by clocking the micro moments of how and what you are already abundant in. Now, you can say trees, you can say air, you can say a car that I'm like the car that you're driving is probably worth thousands, the phone that you're holding in your hand, the AirPods that you're listening to, like all of that is money. All of that is abundance. And abundance isn't just money either, it's also love and friendships and you know what I'm saying? Like things like
Yeah.
that, like
It's all around
community. I'm
us.
abundant in community. It's in so many,
Yeah.
it's the energy is in so many different ways. So clock where you're abundant in currently. The more you focus on that, the more of that is what's going to flow to you. But we are conditioned to be stuck in this scarcity and lack mindset. And so we oftentimes get so caught up in the negative and then we get paralyzed. We don't know what step to take. Well, the first step that you need to take is getting your mindset out of the fucking gutter and changing the way that you think about life, especially.
Yeah. Starting somewhere.
Exactly. Starting somewhere. That's why and also like with this whole, I know that we touched on my ex. I just want you guys to know that I did I did take time to focus on myself for reals. I stayed single
You
for,
did that.
I did it. I did the thing. And I really focused on myself. And then my higher self gave me one last test
Oh,
of, I'm just, I'm really liking what we're doing, but I'm not looking for anything serious. And that was a test for me. Am I going to stay in this cycle or am
yeah.
I going to break it and walk away and choose myself? And I chose myself in that moment
Oh,
because I had skyrocketed my self love and my
um,
self image. And then I think a month later, met my now boyfriend. We've been together for 2 years and
yeah.
it's the best relationship I've ever been in because I've done so much healing and I became my best self, and so I attracted somebody who is his best self and who treats me like a fucking queen. But it all starts with you.
Yeah. That's such a perfect ending to that story. I love it. So, Mikaela, I love to end all my interviews with asking the question, what is something you've recently started in your life?
What have I started in my life?
It can be
I'll have to think
anything.
about that one. I
Business,
know.
personal, health, fitness, new routine, anything. First thing
Yeah.
that comes to your mind.
I'm a very routine person, so
Love that.
I should be doing like new things. Well, walking, I've been walking a lot more. I made a
Perfect.
promise to myself at the beginning of the year to walk like 8 to 10 thousand steps a
Awesome.
day. And I've been on it. And my
Love that.
dog Zeus is looking slim. He's looking good. I'm real
He's
proud of him.
benefiting as well.
Yes, he is. And he loves
Perfect.
our morning routine and our walks, our walkies.
I love it. Thank you for sharing. Well, thank you, Mikaela, for sharing so much insight on this episode. We've really covered all grounds. We've gone from relationships to navigating turbulent waters to talking all about intuition and self-love and self-worth and all the really beautiful pieces. So please shout out your socials, your other podcasts where people can tune in. And also, listeners, be sure to check out or listen to the episode we recorded on Mikaela's podcast as well. I'll be sure to link that in the show notes. It was such a great conversation.
Yes. Okay. So you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Mikaela Filar. So that'll be in the show notes below.
Yes.
I won't spell out
Oh,
my name for you guys, but it's very simple. It's just my first and last name. And my podcast is called Intuitive Flow with Mikaela Filar. And if you listen to episode 1 of that podcast, you can really see, where I was when I first started this work and like decided I'm just going to start sharing my journey. It's literally called Love the Journey. So it's a great place to start. And then second episode, you can listen to Isabelle's and I's podcast
Yes.
episode. And yeah,
Yeah.
that's the best way that you can reach me.
Perfect.
My website is Mikaela Ryan Filar, which Ryan is my middle name, MikaelaRyanFilar.com. And that'll also be linked in the show notes for you guys below.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Mikaela. And thank you as well, everybody tuning into this episode. I hope you enjoyed it just as much as I know Mikaela enjoyed sharing it and myself hosting it as well. And I'll see you guys in the next episode.
All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that episode. Before we head off, I would like to remind you guys that I have very limited session availability. So if you have been wanting or feeling the pull to work with me and book a one-on-one session, now is the time. It is ending soon at the end of August. I will no longer be accepting one-on-one clients. So inside of a session with me, I will channel your current energy to discern where and what is energetically blocking you from receiving whatever it is that you are desiring to create for yourself. I will then channel the highest version of you and give energetic and physical tools that you need to align you with your highest timeline towards getting that thing. These sessions are about deep healing, releasing energetic weight, reprogramming your subconscious mind, and becoming a magnet for the life that you crave. Each session brings you closer to your desires by creating clarity, alignment, and a sense of empowerment. You'll walk away knowing how to create a more fulfilled, abundant, and successful life with a clear direction on what's been holding you back and how to move forward. We can also look into any reflections that you are experiencing, where I can give you the physical and energetic tools that you need to shift out of those and no longer be an energetic match for things that you do not see are the vibe. So if that is something that you're into, you can book 3 sessions max. If you are interested, I have a 3-session package, and one session is $6.99. If you buy a package, you save $50 on each session. There are payment plans available. I do accept Klarna. I do accept Afterpay. So if that was an excuse, now it's not. Just DM me, let me know exactly what you need. I am always open to helping you guys out if that is something that you are really feeling the pull to and you need. I know that it was for me booking my first session on my credit card that was that was not maxed out, but almost was really fucking scary, but I did it anyways. And I am so happy that I followed that intuitive pull and booked the session, because obviously it changed my life and I wouldn't be here if it were not for myself booking that session. So that's all we've got for you guys today. I hope that I hear from you. Also, my courses like Aligned as Fuck, Glowed Up, are both coming to an end as well. They will no longer be available at the end of August. So do not miss out. I hope to see you inside. DM me if you have any questions at Mikaela Filar, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Love you so much. I'm so grateful for you. As always, chat soon. Bye.